Have you ever had a situation happen to you? You're in the classroom and a student asks you, Mister, Miss, what's the time? And you look up on the wall and you're like, it's right there. And they look at it and they stare at it and they stare at it and they say, please just tell me what the time is. Can you use your phone? Let's talk about that. I love technology. I love technology, and I will tell you right now, I am totally an Apple fanboy. My whole setup, even here in my studio, is connected to a Mac Mini. I have my Apple Watch, my iPhone. I have two of them. The center of my universe is Mac products, but it's not just about Mac products. It's about just technology in general. We live in an age where technology is the foundation of our existence. But it's something to be said about what we lost because of technology. Do you remember once upon a time someone would ask you a number and it would just come off the top of your head? If you're of a certain age, you knew everyone's number, uncle, aunties, your parents, siblings, house numbers. Some of those numbers were from years ago. You just call them off the top of your head. And now you could barely remember your own number. I know my number, but I'll be honest with you. There are people around me that I should know their numbers, but if you ask me, I'm going to have to look up my phone and get it for you. That is the trade-off that we have with having technology making life so convenient. But today I want to talk to you about this. Here we go. Telling time. Telling time is something that has been a rite of passage for a good while, probably even before the clock. Being able to by yourself distinguish what time of the day it was, whether you're using the sundial, the placement of the sun in the sky, wherever it may be. That was something that was a rite of passage into adulthood. This was a primary skill. I remember being in school, and probably by second grade maybe, with the teacher with the paper clock with the hands that moved, and you learned 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then you also learn quarter after, quarter till, half past. Not like today when we were teaching kids literally to read the number of the phone, of the watch. So right now it's 7:08. Once upon a time, that would have been 8 minutes after 7. And this is something that is important. Some of you might be saying, why are you talking about that? That's not important, because as long as you're able to tell time, that's all that matters. But what happens when technology fails? What happens when your phone, I'm not talking about doomsday, I'm talking about just your watch is dead, your phone is dead. And you're in a place where maybe the only thing that you can read is a traditional mechanical clock with hands. And if you can't tell what time it is, it could be a problem. Or if you can't tell the time quick enough to be able to move, to be able to meet an appointment, something like that, that could be a problem. But it's also something to be said about wearing a traditional watch and knowing how to operate it. That is a lost art, but it's something that I noticed with the wealthy and the more successful and the top tier people in society. They still have mechanical watches on their wrists. Whether they can read it or not, that's another question, but I'm asking myself often, why is that? Why aren't they just wearing the traditional Apple Watch like everybody is and being handcuffed to their phone through their digital watch or your smartwatch? Because there's something to be said about being able to use your brain to be able to use a feat of engineering, a watch, to be able to tell time and do multiple other things. So today I'm going to share with you something that I think would be a great lesson to teach students in the classroom, beyond just why it's important to be able to tell time in a traditional watch, but also what traditional watches can do for you, whether it's the complications that those watches have to be able to help you through life, just your daily activities, but also what it says about you as a professional when you walk into an interview, you have a wristwatch on, and what people think of you when they see you and say, wow, that's a nice watch. Not because it's the you know, the smartwatch that everybody has, because it's a watch that you picked that has something unique about it that speaks to the occasion and who you are and how you think. So there's a lot of different kind of watches out there, but today I'm going to be talking to you about one of my watches. And this watch I'm going to be sharing with you is a Moonphase watch, something that you don't see too often, you know. And I'm going to be very specific, something you don't see too often within the urban setting. You know, when I'm talking about black and brown people, often we're digital, but we're not mechanical. And being able to have those watches that kind of speak to a classical time. So today I'm going to share with you my Moonphase watch, and let's go. So this is my Moonphase watch, and you're probably asking yourself, what do you mean by Moonphase? So if you notice on this watch here, right there in the middle, you can see this little drawing in there, and that yellow drawing is the moon. And what this watch does, it tracks the phases of the moon over the course of the year, right on your wrist. And I'm trying to get this position properly. Here we go. Too far. Here we go. I'm working backwards here. So it tracks the position of the moon over the course of the year. You might be asking, like, why is that important? Why do we need to know the position of the moon over the course of the year? And hold up, let me make this a little bit darker here. Let me bring down the lights a little bit so you can see a little bit better. Here we go. Much better. So again, this is a what's considered it's not mechanical. This is a quartz watch, you know, but it has a battery inside that I believe lasts up to like 2 years. And the great thing about this watch here, it gives you time, of course. Like right now you can see it is 12 after 7 p.m. But then also what's awesome about this is, you know, you have the second hand on there, and there's a fourth hand. See that hand right there? That hand right there actually tells you what week of the 52-week year it is. Right now we are in the 9th week of the year, and it's designated right there on the arm, on the watch face. And the great thing about this watch here is that literally between being able to tell you what time of the year it is, what week of the year it is, then also tell you the day of the month and the day of the week, is able to keep calculating throughout the year the phase of the moon. So you see the moon on here, literally it takes about 14 days for this to go through its phases. I believe it's about 14 days. If I'm incorrect, please somebody correct me in the comments. And this will move ever so slightly until you don't see it again. It goes through its phases, new moon, and it comes back again to waxing, waning, and goes all the way through, you know, through the cycle. Again, awesome thing to be able to do. But the great thing about this is something that can turn into a whole entire lesson in the classroom. Like, how is it doing this? How does it know to calculate between the week of the year, the time of the day, the month of the day, the day of the month, and the day of the week, to be able to calculate these things? That this is all happening internally, mechanically. Of course, being operated by a battery, but it's happening in there. There's all these little gears and everything that being powered by a battery. They're shifting and making this something that's possible here. Okay, again, you know, now when we talk about walking into a place wearing something like this, which everyone has, or let me take off. I have this on my military Velcro strap, and you walk into a place with something like this on your wrist. Okay, it's a very different feel, very different look, and then it's a point of conversation. And again, how much more powerful are students when they're able to speak like I just did about a watch, you know, and understanding that there's a science behind it, there's mathematics behind it, And beyond just telling the time, you know, it tells you something about the universe as well. Some people might say, well, there's no need to know what the phase of the moon is. You know what? You're right. There isn't really, because again, in my Apple Watch, one of the faces tells me actually the phase of the moon. But everyone has one of those. This right here is something that's classic, that I could wear with a suit. I could wear it casual. That automatically sets me apart from other people. So some next thing that someone's going to say is like, wait a minute, those are very expensive, right? Those watches, right? You know, this is so complicated versus an Apple Watch. But actually, one of these can buy 3 of these. You know, yes, you won't be able to check your voicemail and check your text messages and things like that. But I think it's a good thing. You know, it allows you to disconnect from what everybody's also attached to. I find myself